Hello and welcome to the program. I am Suren. Continuing with the subject of future, based on a psychic and several channeled information through the years. The plane of white light, also known as the sixth plane. I feel strongly that you are now questioning, why is this so? Therefore, I will call my subject pure reason today. During the last few episodes, we have discovered the quality of other credentials of the communicator you may consider as our guest messenger. I have no doubt about the authenticity of messages delivered and necessarily originating from the unconscious mind of our channeler. Having established this issue or matter, I can continue with today's discussion. In our world, where science and technology seems to be the king, we all know and appreciate that the light, though composed of many colors, is naturally colorless. That's how we perceive in our physical world. The spirit is the same, though composed of many souls, is above and beyond the pleasurable and painful moods of the mind. It belongs therefore to the sixth plane, which is appropriately described by the symbology of white light. Now, on this level of consciousness, pure reason reigns supreme. Emotion and passion, as known to man, are no longer there. In fact, I can confidently declare that white light represents the perfect equanimity of purest thought. Such equanimity becomes an only state of the souls who enter this last wealthy kingdom of experience. They possess the wisdom of form, the incalculable secret wisdom, obtained only through limitation, harvested from numberless years, garnered from life passed in myriad forms. Knowledge of good and evil and of what lies beyond good and evil now belongs to them. They have become the lords of life, for they have indeed conquered. They are capable of living now without the form, of existing as white light, as the pure thought of their Creator. They have truly joined the immortals. What is the reason for the sixth level, you might ask? The purpose of the sixth plane of being might be described as the assimilation of the many in one, the unifying of all mind units we call souls within the spirit. When this aim has been achieved, the spirit which contains this strange, individualized life passes out yonder and enters into the mystery, thereby fulfilling the final purpose, the evolution of the Supreme Mind. In other words, advancing into becoming the Supreme Creator, Inventor, Artist, Composer, Conductor. What is out in the universe and beyond? Let us now consider this out yonder, timelessness, and the seventh plane. Here we are considering the important part of the divine, godly, and the creative principle. Again, the choice needs to be forthcoming. There are questions to be considered. Is the soul prepared to make the great leap? Prepared to pass wholly from time into timelessness? From an existence in form into formlessness? This is the most difficult of all questions to answer. Only a very few feel comfortable to reply in the affirmative when first faced with it. The seventh state might be described as the passage from form into formlessness. But hopefully the term formlessness is not misunderstood. We need to understand that an existence has no need to express itself in a shape, however tenuous and however fine. The soul who enters that seventh state passes into the beyond and becomes one with the ultimate, or God, if you like. This emerging with the idea, with the great source of spirit, does not imply to annihilation. You still exist as an individual. You are as a wave in the sea, and you have at last entered into the cosmic reality and cast from you all the illusions of appearances. But some intangible essence has been added to your spirit through its long habitation of matter, of ether, which is the ancestor of matter, or what the scientists call empty space. Though, if it is known and is being discovered, albeit very slowly, space is peopled with forms of an infinite fineness and variety. Actually, the passage from the sixth to the seventh state means the flight from the material universe altogether, from that space which is a part of it, and you dwell not only outside of time, but outside that space which is part of it. You dwell not only outside of time, but outside the universe, on this last known plane of being. You can be and are, in one sense, within the universe. You, as part of the whole, and by the whole, we do indicate the highest, or God, and it may be likened to the sun. Your rays pervading the material universe, yet your spirit remains detached from it, reigning in the great calm of eternity. To be of the universe and to be apart from it is possibly the final achievement, the goal of all endeavors. In a few brief words, we have spent the existence within eons of time, and we have endeavored to give you a glimpse of that mystery, timelessness. When you dwell out yonder, you are a part of the divine principle in its essence, our full awareness of the imagination of God. So you are aware of every second in time. You are aware of the whole history of the planet Earth, from Alpha to Omega. Equally, all planetary existences are yours. Everything created is contained within that imagination, and you, now by reason of your immortality, know it, and hold, as the earth holds a seed, the whole of life, the past, the future, all that is, all that shall be forever and ever. The beyond baffles description. It can be heartbreaking even to attempt to write or speak of it, let alone considering it. That spirit man, God the Son, expressed a great truth when he said, "Many are called and only a few chosen." Only a very few pass out yonder during the life of the earth. A certain number of souls attend to the sixth state, but remain in it, or, in exceptional cases, for a lofty purpose, descend again into matter. They may not be as strong enough to make the great leap into timelessness, or are not yet perfected. Let us talk a little about the universe. Some Buddhists maintain that the universe is not real. It is unreal. It is unreal only so long as you are in its web, governed by its laws, controlled by its matter, or by that invisible substance we may call an air of matter. But when the sage claims that the ultimate goal is one of extinction within nirvana, extinction, though not annihilation, he is using very dangerous terms. He claims that we are extinguished once we reach this state of grace, this world of the Absolute. He suggests, however, that at any rate we, the Absolute, he suggests, however, that we are existing in unconditioned being. We are entirely apart from the universe, freed from its essential unreality. Actually, only on the seventh plane, when we are one with the supreme idea, do we realize the reality of the universe. It is unreal so long as it imprisons the soul and the spirit. It is real once these are merged and freed from it, dwelling in the infinite liberty of pure intelligence. Once that state is attained, we perceive that old masterpiece, the universe as a whole. We realize it in every microscopic detail and in its greatest proportions, apart from other universes. We perceive the whole of it as an intellectual concept within the supreme idea, but we perceive a part of it as playing out its drama, and thus we exist as the audience, the seer, the lover, experiencing all that life as being an act of thought. And eventually, we reach the zenith of experience. This is also when we truly know the reality of the material universe. We are aware of the other reality, the idea, which contains its duplicate from the beginning to the end, as a thought. We therefore cannot be said to be extinct. We are one in the great harmony of mind. We are individual in the love of the Creator for His creation, which is contained within Him, which is yet manifested in part. We receive from all those myriad spirits who control parts of the material universe the complete impression of it, its least and its greatest aspects. Therefore, we live as never before. We are now in nirvanic swoon. And we join in that contemplation of the construction of the present universe, of the creation, life, and extinction of other universes. And so on endlessly, we go on. We live in the intellectual concept of them all, and we are aware of that part which now plays out its drama on the stage of eternity. Try to realize the dual character of existence. And when you think of the word universe, then it may be easier to understand the actual nature of life. There are physical atoms, as you know, and there are psychic units. The psychic unit develops as it dwells within and without the physical atoms. In the various stages of existence, the psychic unit dwells within the fantasy of ever finer and finer substance, gaining all the while. The psychic unit keeps from that substance and returns to its home in the idea. But this escape does not mean an annihilation. It is one now and yet many, just as the physical atoms of the human body are one and yet many. Understand, therefore, that the universe is only unreal so long as you dwell within its confining web, within form. It is very real when you are free from it and are able to move from it out yonder, enabling yourself to observe it as a whole, and realizing it as an act of pure thought. The person who has conveyed this long message has remained in touch with the earth, although discarnate, and has followed since his death at the beginning of the 20th century. The progress of science, the great wars, which has been continued in the economic war, and he has, through communion with the inner mind of his friends who still exist in physical bodies, perceived the change in man's spiritual outlook, as well as perceiving his urgent need for some cogent assurance of the spiritual world. We, the intelligences, who journeyed as far as it may be concerned, when we choose, journey back to the state of journey and commune with those who love us and who are mentally similar to us. We then observe the strange disorder of the world of men and women. And we recognize the causes of that disorder and the purpose behind them. Let us now talk about the incident of death. To those of us who have reached that invisible bourne from which travelers, in a changed aspect, frequently return, death is an incident or a mere episode which we regard with a certain tenderness, and most definitely not with any pain or agony. To human beings, however, death should seem as at night, at an inn or a hotel, as a halt, a stop on the road home. It may be like a night of feverish insomnia or heavy with fear, a night full of strange dreams and nightmares, or a period of almost undisturbed peace. Almost always there is contained in it a time of stillness, of sinking gloriously into rest. Nevertheless, the soul eventually awakens to a new day, and in dawn and dark alike is surrounded by certain of his discarnate kindred, and by some of those who are woven into the pattern of his destiny. Before we discuss death further, we must be agreed on the meaning of one word which has caused much confusion of thought. The terminology, discarnate being. It does not imply separation from anybody whatsoever, but from exclusive association with the physical body. For until the wayfarer reaches the sixth plane, he must customarily use some form, some vehicle of expression, some outward sign, or a symbol of himself. Many varieties are found in these forms. For our present purpose, it is advisable that we should name only 4 of them. 1. Double or unifying body. In our opinion, falsely named the astral body. 2. The etheric body. 3. The subtle body. 4. The celestial body, or shape of light. The 2 latter are occupied by the soul on the higher planes and can be altered greatly in appearance by a mental act or by an act of will. Now, discarnate intelligences have probably informed you that the secret of death is to be found in the rate of speed at which the outer shell vibrates, meaning the frequency ranges of the physical body. For instance, a human being is primarily aware of the visible world about him because his body is traveling at its particular rate of speed. After the timing of your physical form and the earth, man, women, and all material objects will vanish for you as you vanish for them. Death, therefore, means merely a change of speed. For the purpose of this change, at temporary dislocation is necessary, for the soul must pass from one body traveling at a certain vibration to another traveling at a different rate of vibration or time. Now, this entry into the next life involves no sudden break, no leap, as it were, into new conditions. There must necessarily be an intermediate state. Even Christ entered into it abiding, as you have been told, for a period in Hades. And we have much more to consider, which I'd like to leave for now for the next episode. Here's a reminder that ideas considered are not entirely based upon my personal thoughts, but on a thorough research and reliably channeled sources. Well, I will say, keep smiling and be happy. I will be waiting for you by the next episode. Thank you.